Hello, carbuncles. Now, if you're anything like me, you've looked at a big boat and said, damn, that's a pretty cool boat. But oftentimes, that calm and serene sailing experience doesn't come without an egregious amount of red tape. That's probably why Popeye the Sailor Man has to pop methamphetamine-laced spinach just to function. Anywho, with that assessment out of the way, let's talk about all of our favorite pastimes. Regulations. You ever notice how whenever economies start wheezing, we get really into giant ships? I mean, seriously, in the late 1800s, with industrial panic and migration waves, and whatever the hell Germany was doing, I assume they threw a dart and it hit ship. And ship they did. What about pre-World War I tensions and national flexing and whatever the hell Germany was doing? Build faster ones. And post-war recovery and whatever the hell Germany was doing then? Big ass ship. Yes, ass. Ascending stern structure. Nautical. Interwar uncertainty and whatever the hell Britain was doing. Let's put a turbine on that. There's honestly something about an economy that's on life support that makes nations say, you know what, let's throw a 45,000 gross treasures a ton ship at it. It'll boost morale. And oh boy, did do the opposite. Now hold your horses. Before all these funnels and steel and iron buoyant bathtub monopolies, there was actually a time where a sailor could build a boat and leave faster than E.J. Smith can say hard to starboard. But then companies did the company thing and decided to industrialize the ocean. And now introducing the speedliners. There's the Umbria, the Adriatic, the Atlantic, the Teutonic Twins, the Georgic, the other one, and the drumroll please, Kaiser Wilhelm de Grosser. No, not named after Kaiser Wilhelm, surprisingly. Honestly, to me, all of the early ego projects by the White Star and Cunard Line look all the same, but you can't say that. That's racist. Now each one of them competed for a silly little thing called the Blue Ribbon, which was kind of lame, honestly. It wasn't even a prize or a trophy. Nay, this thing was a self-bestowed newspaper headline that the liner companies gave themselves to sell tickets. And more tickets sold naturally meant more money. So the ocean liner companies strapped bigger and heavier engines at the back of their ships, making their ascending stern structure, ass, shake wilder than whatever the hell Gen Z is into these days. So now all of a sudden ships were racing the oceans, making an ungodly amount of time in an ungodly amount of speed. And then something beautiful happened. The RMS clickbait. Oh come on, you know the one. The one everyone's romantic hopes and dreams died on. The disaster alone reshaped maritime law, lifeboat requirements, wireless monitoring, ice patrols. Like, I get the safety aspect, but all of that could have been avoided by E.J. Smith not ramming the hell into the huge absence of stars in the sky because, maybe that was, an object. Then comes along Titanic's predecessor, the Lusitania, or Lucy as the kids call it. She was torpedoed in 1915 and as you can expect, ship hit the fan. Munitions controversy, sinks in 18 minutes, almost 1,200 dead. And in terms of politics, well, let's just say Germany got their revenge on Lusitania for stealing their blue goddamn ribbon. So now suddenly, passenger ships are diplomatic grenades that the world smashed together like bath toys and watch them sink for entertainment, like bath toys. So that bore more rules and scrutiny and even more international tensions. And at this point you can probably imagine South Africa wanting to throw their hat in the pool with the SS Mendi. I don't really know why, but this story doesn't really get that much covering. Thank you YouTube for prioritizing the RMS clickbait so the Mendi doesn't have to be commercialized to hell and back. So in 1917, in the thick fog of the English Channel, lookouts spotted the SS Darrow in the fog, and it was pretty clear what was coming. The Darrow was coming. The Mendi goes down with big South African dramatic flair, raising its ascending stern structure as in the air as its bow promptly gets a facial by the Darrow. And what's worse is what happened after. The Darrow commits a hit and run. The thing didn't even stay to help like what happened with the Andrew Doria and the Stockholm. Nope. This thing took its raggedy ass, ascending stern structure, and left the vicinity. And again, investigations and blame and thus procedures and adjustments. Another layer of red tape added. Every disaster adds something. After Titanic, lifeboats and wireless rules. After Lucy, political sensitivity and naval restrictions, and what happened after poor old Mendy, strict navigation standards, all of which, by the way, were totally foreseen circumstances and could have been avoided, but alas, human ambition and corporate greed got the best of us. And because governments don't like looking unprepared, they stacked rules upon rules, regulations upon regulations, restricting oceans and taking away the freedom of the common sailor. You can actually track maritime law by following the recs, like some sort of treasure map, but the treasure is just freedom, and they took it away. So now, here we are, on a tiny square-rigged sailboat, moving 27 knots slower than a Victorian Little Miss Unsinkable, and yet I still need registration, safety compliance, equipment inspections, and certifications for things that don't even exist on this boat, all because 100 years ago, someone decided they need to make as much money out of the ocean as they could, and thus the sea was industrialized. And once you industrialize something, you regulate it. And they put freedom on the boat, and they sunk it. Anyway, if I get boarded by maritime authorities, tell them I'm historically contextual.